Stop. Do not look away. What you are about to see is a classified timeline of the future, a record of how humanity escaped its cradle, and the terrible price we paid for it. The year is 2030. Look at this world. Look closely at the scars on the surface in these images. They told you the red planet was dead. They told you it was a barren wasteland waiting to be conquered. They lied. Mars wasn't dead. It was waiting. It was dormant. In these early archives, you see the silence, the endless, suffocating silence of Sector 4. For 4 billion years, there was no heartbeat here, no breath, only the wind, carving the rocks into monuments of solitude. Let us examine the tools of the old world. Look at the rover tracks in the dust, lonely lines etched into the oxidized soil. Look at the rover model MK4 in this image. See the dust clogging its solar arrays? We sent thousands of these machines. They were autonomous, driven by primitive AI. They spent years drilling into the regolith, searching for ice. You can see the wear on the titanium wheels. The sharp rocks of the Jezero crater chewed them apart. Every scratch on this metal tells a story of a sandstorm that lasted for months. The radiation here doesn't just kill you, it erases you. The cold penetrates your suit in seconds. We were intruders, and the planet knew it. We realized that asking the planet to wake up wasn't enough. We had to force it. The year 2050, Operation Solar Hammer. Look at the explosions in these archives. Beautiful, aren't they? We detonated thermonuclear devices at the poles to release the frozen carbon dioxide that had been locked away for eons. We smashed asteroids into the surface with calculated precision. It was violent. It was necessary. It was the loudest sound the solar system had heard in millions of years. The ground shook for decades. The sky turned from a dead black to a burning, suffocating orange. We needed heat. We needed chaos. We needed to kickstart a dead heart. But violence has a price that we did not fully understand. The dust storms followed. Massive walls of iron oxide that swallowed the sun for 3 years. In these images, you can see the remains of our initial outposts, buried under mountains of red grit. By 2100, the first rains finally fell. But it wasn't the life-giving water of Earth. It was acid, a toxic, corrosive downpour that hissed as it touched the burning rocks. It dissolved our machines. It melted the very sensors meant to track our progress. It burned our hope and left us wondering if we had only made things worse. We thought the red planet had rejected our presence forever. We thought we had created a hell worse than the desert we found. But then, a miracle happened in the cold silence of the valleys. Year 2150, the first sprout appeared. Look closely at this footage. Do you see the veins on the purple leaves? This is genetic modification, number 744, a lichen that does not just tolerate radiation, but feeds on it. It is a biological engine. It began to eat the rust of the soil and spit out pure oxygen. It transformed the toxicity of the rain into the building blocks of an ecosystem. Notice the color? It is not the bright green of Earth. It is darker, designed to absorb every single photon of the weak Martian sunlight. Then came the water, the great thawing. By year 2300, ancient rivers that had been dry since the dawn of time rushed back to the surface. Look at the power of the floods. It is heavy with minerals and salt. When the first drops of pure rain finally touched the ground after the acid cleared, the soil did not hiss. It drank. It drank until the basins of Hellas and Argyre were full once more. Mars was no longer red. It was becoming a world of blue veins and purple forests, a world reborn from fire and ice. Centuries passed. The air thickened. The sky turned blue. By the year 2500, the first forests took root in the Valles Marineris. Look at the transformation in this time lapse. Where there was once only dust, now there is life. We built the domes. We created the perfect atmosphere. Cities of glass and light rose from the craters. We achieved the dream of a multiplanetary species. But paradise is not free. Living in the domes changed us. We grew taller in the low gravity. Our bones became lighter. We stopped looking at the horizon with fear and started looking at it with ownership. Yet, some of us still remember the old days. We keep the old airlocks as museums. We keep the rusted rovers as statues to remind our children that the air they breathe was bought with centuries of struggle. Look at the horizon one last time. We turned a god of war into a garden of peace. But do not forget the struggle. Do not forget the silence that came before. This is the legacy of humanity. From the Red Death to the Green Eden. This is the archivist signing off. End of timeline.